Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. I am Gallium, and I am joined in here by a very festive Biscuit. How you doing, Biscuit?
Great, Gallium. On for my second cast of the night, moving up a few leagues to the rival league, and very excited to watch the league I am so lucky to be a part of.
Honestly, it's really cool to be casting these higher up leagues just to see the skill gap between you and your league and all these amazing players in this league. And we have a pretty amazing matchup. I'm not going to lie. We have the Chimeras going up against the Gravelords, and it's going to be one for the ages here, Biscuit.
Yeah, definitely going to be an exciting game. Just to kick it off, rip, say a player's name drop. Magma, one of my favorite people in the league to watch and to conversate with. Should have been on Hydra. We won't talk about it too much. Reaction didn't happen, and I lost him to the draft pool. But he's been popping off this season. It's going to be exciting to watch him play and go up against his Chimeras roster.
Yeah, it's going to be actually awesome to watch everybody in this roster. Most names I do recognize, and one of them that I think is going to help really carry their team forward is going to be Case. And I was doing my little pre-game research, as you do, and this dude is all over the stat board. Like he's top five, and I think everything. I know we can get specific, but just know if you log in to the stat sheet, you can see he's just everywhere.
He is everywhere. His name comes up more than cancer cells. It is amazing how much Case has done this season. That joke might have been a little dark. But he shows up everywhere, all over the top 15 and pretty much every per game stat you can think of. Magma right along with them, showing up. But when you look over to the Chimeras roster, only two people showing up in any top 15s, and that would be Big Rick and J Rod, which feels like a black and orange website name.
Yeah, I don't think I was gonna make that joke, but I'm glad you did, Biscuit,
Yeah,
because that was pretty hilarious. That's
I've been here too long. They can't get rid of me.
yeah, you're allowed to be a little out of pocket. I can't be. I'm still new around here, but the Chimeras, even though they're not everywhere on the stat board, I did actually cast them earlier in the season, and what they lack in mechanics, they do have team chemistry. And I will say team chemistry is incredibly important, especially up here in the rival league. If you have better positioning to your opponent and you put the ball towards the net, you will win. That's just how the cookie crumbles here, Biscuit.
Solid fundamentals are super important. The only downside to something like that is when you do have a player on the level of Case, where he is a very mechanical player. If he can break down your defense and give good shot opportunities, looks for either Magma or Sean, I assume who would be starting, it can be really hard to ride those fundamentals out. But that being said, if Gravelords can't capitalize, Case maybe not feeling it today, a little bit of that cold thumb syndrome, he might not be able to break down the defense for him, and it could be a big problem for Gravelords.
Yeah, honestly, I think both teams have their ups and their downs. But with that all being said, Biscuit, you knew I was coming at you with this question. I'm just gonna go ahead and ask it. Who do you have winning this series? And I'm gonna be a little more specific. Who do you have winning this game number one here, Biscuit?
Case is well known to kind of come in with a big head, not to roast him too hard. So I really could see Chimeras taking game one, but after that, I think Gravelords turn around and take the next three and 3-1 overall.
Very specific prediction. I'm liking it. So if you don't know where to put your channel points right now, I guess Biscuit just told you where to put them, as we have game number one here on the Nemesis Gaming League channel underway, as Magma gonna take it off the backboard, gonna give it over to Case. Case can't find the touch. J-Rod up with it, gonna send it over to Shun. Shun is gonna try to get a touch but can't. Magma out to Big Rick. Big Rick gonna get a centering ball. Case deflects it right back. Magma gonna try to get a touch. Does not get a very successful touch, as he's gonna get bumped away. Shun and J-Rod collide. You have Ark and Case on the backboard. Magma gonna send that one down. Case has some time to work with. No, he doesn't. J-Rod is an absolute beast in the air. He got a good 50. Can they make something work with it? No, they cannot. Case and Big Rick are gonna challenge the ball. Big Rick wins that challenge. The ball floating in the midfield. Can Case do something with it? Yes, he gets it to the backboard. Can they make a play? Ark misses. Oh, that was so very, very close for this Gravelords team. What are you seeing out of either one of these teams so far, Biscuit?
call it a lot of feel it out play, a lot of big touches, not a lot of looks for teammates. You're kind of trying to figure out where the other team is positioning themselves defensively, kind of figuring out how you can break that down. And I think both teams are just kind of figuring out. I will say a lot of pressure early for Chimeras, which could either be good or could equal a goal as I'm talking about it. Good job, J Rod.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I'm color commentating, a goal always happens when I'm speaking. But you know, this goal is an absolute banger coming out from J-Rod, and you know, it's just kind of the long car buff. We saw it yesterday with Ibonic in the Dominus, and now we are seeing it today with J-Rod in the Skyline. So, you know, it's going to be one heck of a matchup, and J-Rod almost dunked that man, Case. Gonna try to... He has an opening. He actually... Oh, he's just going to score this, isn't he? Yep. He's just putting that in the back of the net, making this a tied game, and a little bit of a miscommunication on the defense.
Yeah, and we got both overcommits out of the way for both teams. It's an inevitable outcome in a game one. An overcommit usually equals the first goal. We had Sean going for boost in the last one, and there, Ark getting caught out with his hand in the cookie jar in case, taking advantage, saying, no cookie for you.
Yeah, unfortunate. Cookie for me. You know, I love the reference. Cookie Monster, very, very, very good character in the Sesame Street universe. And, you know, I like Cookie Monster. He's a little bit clumsy, and that's kind of the clumsiness we saw out of the Chimera's defense there. Just kind of let Case just take it to him, and a little bit of catawampus going over for them. I don't really know what's going on with them, but we have Ark taking the ball to Case. Case over to the side. J-Rod gonna try to get a hit over to the midfield. Oh, he gets it down. He can't really get a good touch. Case gonna try to follow it through. Ark is in the air. Big Rick gonna get it to the sidewall. Can he find another touch? No, he can't, but actually he can. A challenge does not go out for that ball. Case over to the side. J-Rod is going to try to have a touch here. He misses, but Ark doesn't. The ball just floating in the Gravelord zone. The shot coming out, and an unfortunate miss. Ark's going to try to dunk it under one. And, you know, as we get past this halfway point here, there's a lot of action going on here in the later portions of this halfway through this game.
I think my brain almost imploded there trying to process what I just watched. I'm not going to lie to you, Gallium. That was something, a bunch of double commits that Gravelords are lucky enough to walk away with and not get punished for. And when you're looking at it from the Chimeras half, that is good pressure. You just need to find a way to finish that. My brain's still trying to figure out what I just watched. I'm not going to lie to you, brother.
You know, I don't really blame you. It was a little bit of a, not going to say novice moment, but we got pretty darn close there as we saw a couple of misses, and the net is just open. Can J-Rod get a touch? No, he can't. Case just going to try to beat him back there, and we're seeing a lot of overcommitting right now. I don't know if it's the stream nerves. I honestly don't really know what's happening, but as we continue through this game, just to ignore what I just saw, Big Rick going to hit it up the wall. Give it over to Case. Magma going to hit it down the field. Finds Ark on the opposing team. Magma going to get another touch. Case finds the ball. Can Case get another touch? Yes, he can, out to the midfield, but not before J-Rod can get a little bit of a hand on it. J-Rod out as another pass just floating in the net, and the Chimeras can't really do much with that pass. Big Rick and J-Rod up. The ball is just floating into the Chimera zone, and another double commit going out for them.
Yeah, just... You know, both of them looking at this as a shot opportunity, but Sean just showing the superior speed, and I mean, it's just a tap in. Magma, you should have stole that. I taught you better. But Sean taking this lead, 46 seconds left. Pressure is now all on Chimeras. My prediction is getting ruined really quickly if they don't figure this out.
You know, it's being a little. This game is just one hectic mess, I think. I think that's honestly how most game ones go in the play-ins. You know, you're obviously really nervous because it is on stream and it's also a play-in game. You're really fighting for your lives here. So, you know, I'll give them credit where credit's due. I think we just have to let them heat up a little bit. And as we see Magma giving a pass over a Case, the 1-2 combo going to put it away for the 3-1 lead.
Yeah, that's the I meant to pass it type pass right here. Magma definitely looking for the shot, trying to get his first goal of the series, really open up the bottle. But Case, luckily there, being the absolute face-first forward player he is, and definitely there to clean it up 9 times out of 10 if you're Magma. So That's definitely a nice blanket to have.
Oh, there he goes. Big Rick gonna take it down the field. What an absolute banger.
And now there's a chance. My prediction back on the board, 18 seconds. They could do a kickoff goal again. They could do 2 of them. We might see Chimeras win regulation. I don't know.
You know, we could see them take this into overtime, or we could see them win 10-3. You know, anything could happen. Unfortunately, we are not on Forbidden Temple, so I can't really say that statement without kind of chuckling to myself. But as we continue, 9 seconds left. Case with the flip reset, gonna try to get a shot going out, but he ends up taking it to the backboard. Magma gonna get it down the field. Magma gonna have another touch here, not before he collides with his teammate Arc down the field to Big Rick. Big Rick gonna try to find a double here. Yes, he can. He can find another touch. Oh, and the shot almost comes out, and the Gravelords are gonna sneak away with this game number 1.
Oh, that was it. That was a great carry by Big Rick to get it in position with the defender out of position. And I didn't quite catch the name, but Ark or J-Rod, both of you, whoever went for that shot, you really need that touch there. And it's unfortunate they don't get it. We're now moving on to game 2. My predictions are in shambles. So I'm pivoting now. Gravelords are going to still win 3-1, but they just won game 1.
So, since your prediction is in shambles, do you think the prediction might reverse? Do you think Gravelords are going to win the first game and Chimeras are just going to sweep them the rest of the way out?
No, Magma might unfriend me on Snapchat if I put that type of voodoo on him. And he posts some pretty funny stories every once in a while. So I don't know if I want to take that risk of voodooing him, but it is very possible that my prediction gets flipped, and we all sit here laughing at Biscuit. Oh, so dumb later.
You know, everything. I will say the bad part about putting a prediction on the line is if it's horribly and just incredibly wrong, and that happens 9 times out of 10, and this could happen here because the Gravelords taking that game number 1. Just honestly, I'm not saying it surprised me, but the way that they were playing really aggressive and they were overcommitting. I think honestly both teams were. I think that's really what nipped them in the end of the day. So we're gonna honestly, I think I need to see a change in the way that both these teams approach this as we have a flip reset Musty into a shot.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. I played with Magma for a long time. I don't know when he put that in his Duffy, but holy crap, Magma. Teach me later, all right? We'll talk about that one later after stream. What a pass. Oh my gosh, starting off hot here in game 2.
You know, if we could get a petition going to make Magma teach us all how to flip reset Musty, I think the world would be a better place. As Kate's gonna take a shot, and oh my goodness, the Gravelords are looking real good.
Yeah, that was back. I know we shouldn't talk about multiple times, but that Magma pass, something that mechanical that early can really jar a team that's already down a game. The mental is already probably hurting, and now it's really getting slapped around. His case is already 2/3 of the way to a hat trick, and we're 15 seconds into the match.
You know, you can talk about Magma all you want. I'm going to talk about one of the Chimeras players that I really like. I really love Big Rick. I casted him before, and if my memory serves, he was using a totally different car. I think he was actually using the Roadhog XL. I could be completely wrong, but, you know, he switched to a meta car. So I think he's taking this game at least a little more serious. So, you know, glad to see that happening as we have J-Rod going to demo Case away. And he gets a second one, gonna get a third. Can J-Rod just take this all the way home? Oh, he actually gets a good pass out to Ark. Can Ark make a play of it? Shun gonna chase Ark, but not for long. Ark has some boost. He has the ball. Magma gonna hit it away. Big Rick gonna get a touch. Over to Case, who deflects it away. The ball is in a dangerous spot for the Gravelords. Can Magma and Case and Shun clear this one away? The ball floating in the midfield. The ball is now just chilling in the Chimera zone. Gonna go over to the wall. Case gonna get it to the backboard. J-Rod is up with a shot, and oh my goodness, what a banger.
That one was tight like a tiger, brother. I ain't gonna lie. This is a great 50 coming out by Ark, getting this ball in the midfield, and Sean reading the ball, but just not reading it as fast or as well as J-Rod. And J-Rod said, hey, listen, I might have been a little shooketh that Magma has a flip reset Musty in his bag, as I talk about it for the 3rd time. But we ain't gonna lay down and take it. And that's really good to see for this Chimeras roster, as that does move them within 1 goal with plenty of time left and hopefully some momentum to build off of.
You know, I really appreciate their resilience to really come back into this game. And we have 2 players down for Gravelords. Both of them went. Case almost scored that one. An unfortunate double commit, and a common story between these two teams is double commits and mistakes, and we are seeing a lot of them here, Biscuit.
Yeah, a lot of double commits still from both teams, and I think, even though we're only in game 2, we don't know who's going to win it. I think whoever can calm down those double commits nerve is going to really start dominating. It could even be after this game. Who knows? Gravelords maybe take this game, but Chimera is turn around and take a sip of the tea or something and really calm down and stop double committing. They could turn around and start just dominating this Gravelords team, or vice versa. Who knows?
Anything is possible. I'm not going to lie to you. And as we reach the halfway point, I honestly think that the Chimeras aren't sitting in the best spot, but it's definitely doable for them. I'm seeing a change in their gameplay. They're playing a little bit quicker, and they're really getting to the ball faster than the Gravelords right now. Let's see if they can capitalize it. As I digress, we have Big Rick going to get demoed out by Case. Magma going to take this ball off the sidewall, give it over to J-Rod, who's going to give it to the middle. The ball off the backboard. Can Big Rick get a huge clear? He does. What a massive play coming out from the Chimeras. Case up with the ball. He has the boost. Does he have the motivation? He does, but he can't get it through. Arc over to J-Rod. This is a golden opportunity, but the bounce is very unfavorable for them. Big Rick with a shot. Shun there to meet him. Arc going to take a shot over to Big Rick. Big Rick cannot get the redirect going. The ball floating in the Gravelords zone. Magma gonna get a huge demo on Big Rick. Case up with a very minimal boost, and Arc dunks him out. And the Chimeras capitalize on this. A little bit of a miss by Shun as Magma coming in, gonna try to dunk him out. Here comes Big Rick. He has some boost, tries to get it off the backboard. Honestly, I thought he was going on the ceiling and doubling that. I'm not gonna lie, I would have lost my mind. As we hit the 1 minute and 15-second mark, what do you think the Chimeras have to do to get back into this game?
I think they just need to find a way to capitalize on these midfield passes, which has actually been surprising me because my one recollection of playing the Gravelords team is they really did not let you midfield pass, but Chimeras have been getting away with it. They just have not been able to capitalize yet, and I think that's something they could really look for. Is right there, it's an opportunity to Arc floating too close to the ball.
Yeah, honestly, I think, a capitalization, I say it, oh my goodness. As I'm talking about capitalization, a missed opportunity going out there. Capitalization is so important. You need to capitalize on the opportunities that you're given and not buckle down under the pressure, and that's something I need to see from both teams as we enter the 32nd point. What can they do? The Chimeras need a win here in this game. Number 2, Case going to give it off the backboard. Magma has an opportunity. He's going to give it to the backboard. Can a Gravelords teammate get to that? Yes, he can. Case going to try to find it. Arc over to the sidewall. Can J-Rod 50 him out? No, he can't. Oh no, the Chimeras are in a very dangerous position. They're in the back of the rotation. Big Rick going to hit it out. 6 seconds left. Can the Chimeras find a miracle here? Case over to Arc. Arc off the backboard. Oh, he cannot find it as Case hitting this one to the floor, and a 2-0 series lead going out for the Gravelords.
2-0, and now you're in a really awkward position if you're Chimeras. I think Chimeras, this is not where you want to be. Play-ins, playoffs, whatever it is, your chances of reverse sweeping are low. Now, that being said, as a caster, I do want to see the content. So, Chimeras, if you're going to do it now. If we're going to see reverse sweep, do it when Biscuit is casting. Don't do it when anyone else is. All right? Got it. Cool.
I understand. No. Listen. No. I completely agree with you. I think we should have. I honestly like content. I'm not gonna lie. I like casting these games, especially casting with you, Biscuit. And I think if in order to see this content, I think we're gonna need to see the Chimeras step it up a little bit. I mentioned earlier about them having very good chemistry, and I'm not really seeing the chemistry click here. I feel like they're overcommitting. They're just flat out missing balls, and they're losing all these 50s.
Yeah, I did think about that going through. You said they had really good chemistry, and being that I only played both these teams once in the regular season, I don't know tons about them, believe it or not, for being a rival player. But it has not looked very Rick Sanchez, Rick whatever from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Rick Sanchez of them. They're not very chemically inclined right now, and they can clean that up. Like I said, I think whatever team can really cut down these double commits, because neither team has yet, could still be a dominant force here. So if they are checking out the stream, maybe we need Big Rick here to whip out the whatever Roadhog XL. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe he's a meme card main, and that's been his problem this whole time.
Never mind. He shut you up real quick, Biscuit.
Yeah, 15 seconds of Biscuit talking is way too much. I was getting tired of it myself.
No. I personally love it. I'm sure everybody on the stream loves it too, Biscuit. But, as you were mentioning earlier about the chemistry with the Chimeras, even though they got this first goal, you have to watch out for Gravelords. And in order for Chimeras to really just chemically combine together, chemically... what's the word for like formula? Yeah, react. Yeah, that's the word. Words escape me. Words are hard. We could also... You said Rick Sanchez. We could also go with a Walter White reference, all you Breaking Bad fans out there.
Cracked. So.
No, never mind. As we have J-Rod going to chase out Shun. J-Rod going to try to find a second touch. He can't. Magma over to Shun. Shun is just going to give a pass to the Chimeras. Can they capitalize off of it? No, they cannot. Arc up in the air. Over to J-Rod. J-Rod going to try to find a double. He cannot, but Case gives a good pass, and the bump from J-Rod almost coming through. I think Shun had to pre-flip that. What an incredible save.
I think it was just in the next, Scream movie. That scared the crap out of me. I thought that was a guaranteed goal, and then here comes Shun out of nowhere, putting the team on his back, making sure it's still a one-goal deficit, which is definitely something this Gravelords team is capable of making up.
Yeah, I honestly think this deficit is going to be, I'm not going to say insurmountable, but it is going to be quite hard. The way that the Chimeras are playing right now, I feel like they finally found a little bit of their stride. It only took 2 games, but finally found it. And as I say that, Shun is just going to shut me right up, isn't he? Okay, never mind. He did not. Magma going to try to find a touch here. He gives it over to Big Rick, who gets demoed out by Shun. Shun becoming more and more of a factor in this series. Huge coming out of him. Can we see Case and Magma do the same? Arc and Shun going to collide. The ball off the backboard. Can Shun get to it? No, he cannot. He's going to rotate back. Magma off this sidewall. Going to try to find a hit. He does. Down to Case. Case can't get a good touch. Arc and Case collide over to the sidewall. A perfect opportunity for Arc, but Shun again gets it away. And this Shun guy, he's really stepping up big here.
First 2 games, kind of a non-factor, especially last game. I think he was a sub 100 player, but coming in now, he's currently leading Case and Magma. And it sounds bad, and I don't wish anything bad for a single player, but we definitely need to see Magma or Case step up here soon. You can't expect your third to carry. I mean, look what happened to Hydra this season when I was supposed to try to carry or something as a third. Couldn't make playoffs. Couldn't make anything.
Yeah, it's all right. We all have our struggles with teams, and a team that is kind of struggling right now in their own zone is the Chimeras, as the Gravelords have kind of pushed them back. And I just realized that I might be pronouncing Shun's name incorrectly. I think it's Shun, not Shun, so I do apologize, Shun, for that one. I'm just a little bit dyslexic. That's okay. Arc gonna get over to the sidewall, over to Case. Case gonna try to find the ball. Shun can in fact get it. He dunks him out like LeBron James. Case gonna find a touch. Arc down the field. Can he find a pass? He tries to. Rick down to the midfield. J-Rod up. Can't find that touch. Big Rick up to the sidewall. Can Case find another touch? He does. Arc gonna touch it right back. Arc again. He can't find another touch to slot that one in. And, I'm liking this offensive pressure coming out for the Chimeras, Biscuit.
Yeah, I'm liking it too. It's just hope they don't get too caught up in it. That's my big fear. We haven't seen too many overcommits this game, which is nice to see, but when you're having this much offensive pressure with not much offensive success, it can lead to a big overcommit being your downfall. I've been there, I've done that. It's no fun, but it happens to the best of us.
I mean, it happened. I'm sure it happened to you. I mean, you are a veteran of the league and one of the elitists up there. And, Case, he's just doing it all himself right now.
And Big Rick here, still not quite sure what he's doing. I'm going to call it slight overcommit, slight NA player move, really going for the boost, getting an unfortunate bounce. And just under a minute left, Chimeras had control the whole time, and now we're back to even. The last 4 minutes were just a pregame warm-up, show off how you're feeling about life. Nothing mattered.
It's really unfortunate for the Chimeras. I think the bounce was kind of unfavorable for him. I don't think Big Rick expected that bounce coming off the sidewall, but regardless of that, they are tied 1-1. Can the Gravelords just get a clean sweep on the Chimeras, or can the Chimeras fight back? We will see in the last 30 seconds. Shun gonna try to get another hit. Big Rick over to the side. Try to find another touch. He does. Case over to the side wall. Here comes J-Rod. Trying to find another touch. He can't. He doesn't have enough boost. Shun gonna give it down to Arc. Ball is just floating in the Gravelord zone, and what a shot! Home, the Chimeras, and in particular, the one, the only, Big Rick 6.
Yeah, and almost a repeat of the last goal we just saw. Case going for the boost instead of the ball. Similar bounce straight out, and Big Rick slotting it with a little more power than we saw before. And now it's looking really favorable for this Gravelords team to lose.
You know, but the game isn't done yet. 1 second left. Never mind. I lied. I just put it to the ground. Every time I try to, add a little bit of wordage in there, they keep the ball up, and every time I try to, close it out, they just slam the ball to the ground. It's okay. I forgive you guys. As the Chimeras gonna take this game 3, and honestly, I'm not gonna say dominant fashion, but they took it pretty handedly.
Even if they did break Rule 754 of always keep the game up in play-ins of a Nemesis Gaming League match of Rocket League, I guess we can accept their win. This, everything with the word, when it comes to reverse sweep, and I will toot my own horn as being one of the only 2 teams to ever reverse sweep in a playoff series. I will toot my own horn. Did that last season on Hydra's run to grand final champions.
Wow.
The big secret, and it's simple as it sounds, just take it a game at a time. You can't look forward to game 5 because you still have game 4 in front of you, and I think that's what this Gravelords team has to fight off. Sorry, Chimeras team needs to look forward to. In game 4, they got to come in, they got to come strong, hopefully stronger. That one was a spooky one. Scoring with 6 seconds left is exciting, but you would much rather have just kept your 1-goal lead or gone up 2-0 at some point if you're that Chimeras team. Take a little pressure off, maybe get in your gaming chair, chill position a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was kind of ironic that you used the an undead reference when you're talking about the Gravelords. You love to see it, really. The puns coming out. I used to be all about the puns, kind of dialed it back, kind of cringe, not gonna lie. As a shot coming in from Case, that is the least cringe thing I've seen all day.
You know what the real truth is, real quick? Didn't even realize they're using undead pun until you pointed it out. So makes it a good pun now because I wasn't even thinking it. But yeah, quick kickoff goal. This is where you could be afraid if you're Chimeras, because it looks like Gravelords might have taken off the Rock Lee weight bracelets and are coming out full speed at Garo's head.
That's just how it be sometimes. Is the ball sometimes savable, sometimes not. In that case, it wasn't. As Case putting another very good shot on target, and really proud of Case. And I sound like a proud dad right now, but I'm really proud of him, how he's performed this past series. Honestly, if I had to give a series MVP, and I know it's a little early, I'm gonna probably give it to Case, as he's been performing everywhere across the pitch.
Yeah, Case has been showing out for this team, and definitely the player you want to see showing out if you are Gravelords here, as he is their carry, he is their best player. Magma's probably their most consistent, but you definitely want to see Case putting work in for this team, because if he's playing well, the whole team's playing well. It's like the Lakers, LeBron plays bad, the Lakers lose. It's simple, it's easy math, and Gravelords have a similar situation with Case here.
Well, apparently the Lakers are not doing very great this season. And as I digress, you Big Rick getting it over to the sidewall. Over to J-Rod, who has a shot, a floater, and it is in. Swish.
Swish. Kobe. Oh.
No.
Yeah, nice little tap here by J-Rod. Getting a little friendly bounce from the crossbar. Usually you might see those bounce out. Case maybe would have been able to get it, but I think Big Rick would have cleaned that up for them. And we are back to tied again. Neither team willing to bow down and bow out of this playoff play-in series match.
I really liked that. What else are you going to say after you score a big shot, to be honest? It's very good saying, and I used to say it all the time, and that was definitely the case for J-Rod there. Just an absolute banger going into the back of the net. It wasn't the fastest shot, but it definitely had placement. I'm looking for more of that coming out of J-Rod, as Arc going to try to get a pass out from Magma. J-Rod going to get it out to the side. He can't find it. Shun and Big Rick going to collide. Going to give the ball out to Case. Case has some time. Not too much, though, as Arc collapses on him. J-Rod over to Arc. I don't think he realizes he doesn't have boost, but Big Rick has boost. Going to put it off the backboard again. J-Rod up. Going to try to find that touch. No, he can't. Magma going to dribble it down the field. Going to find a very good flick up to the wall, but Big Rick deals with that very excellently. Shun with another shot attempt, a very weak one at that, as you have Big Rick taking it, trying to take it to the midfield. He does not find it. Magma in the Chimera zone, trying to find any sort of a shot coming out. And even though the Gravelords are in the Chimera zone, the shots are kind of lacking here.
A lot of peppering of really high above the backboard, and luckily for Chimeras, Big Rick showing a very competent ability to read high balls around the backboard, making phenomenal touches and kind of nullifying any offensive pressure you might be seeing from Gravelords right now on the Chimeras half.
Yeah, honestly, you know, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I'm not going to say it's like excellent defense from the Chimeras. I think it's just missed opportunities from the Gravelords. And as I say that, Magma almost puts an absolute missile in that. I was kind of surprised there. He kind of maybe jump out of my seat. And as the Gravelords just have possession of the ball in the Chimeras zone, can they find another one of those shots, really test the Chimeras defense as Case gives it over to the backboard. Big Rick up. Case can't find the good pass as it is going to get 50 away. Arc over to the side wall, a double commit going out. Magma sending it down the field. J-Rod connects with it. 1 minute and 25 seconds left. Can the Chimeras take this to Game 5, or will the Gravelords win this whole series right here, right now? We will find out shortly. The ball up. Case gonna get a good touch, a very favorable touch. Has the flip reset, has the flip. He can't find the other touch. Big Rick trying to get up with the ball. An unfortunate bounce coming out from him. Arc almost collides with Shun, but Big Rick is up with it. And a very good, oh my goodness, a very good aerial and almost a big play coming out from him. Accidentally demos one of the opposing players. Big Rick again gets a good 50. Can J-Rod do something with it? J-Rod up with the ball, and it is in. 43 seconds left and a 2-1 lead for the Chimeras.
Yeah, and I think I figured out a secret for the Gravelords. Don't put the ball in your right corner, because so far most of the goals being scored by Chimeras have came out of this right corner. I don't know why. It's just a weird thing I have noticed, and I must point it out that I think that right corner might be cursed for this Gravelords team.
You know, wouldn't doubt it a second. You know, I'm with you on this one. I think if we had proper shot statistics and where the shots are coming from, I feel like most of them would be on the right side of the pitch. So, you know, maybe limiting that could be a game plan going forward. But as we have 20 seconds left, we'll see if the Gravelords can equalize here as Shun gets a very good 50 out. Can either of the other Gravelords members get to it as J-Rod almost own goals? The ball is just floating there. Case can't get to it. Can Shun be the hero for his team? Shun gets one touch, gets demoed by Big Rick. Magma out with the ball. 1 second left. 1 second on the clock, and J-Rod is going to take some time and just put it to the ground. We have a possible reverse sweep on our hands and a Game 5.
Here it comes. The Chimeras team chugging along, keeping these games close, and Gravelords, you need some pop off here. I don't know what else to say. It's you go up 2-0 in the series, maybe you get a little arrogant. You know, you feel like the big man on campus. You know, got all the cheerleaders you could ever want, but they stopped going to the weight room or something and getting a little flabby there. They're about to be the backup QB, and they need to figure it out before Chimeras walk in as a freshman and take their rightful starting position. That was a really good analogy, wasn't it? Okay.
You know, I liked it. You know, you're switching things up, and I'm going to give a quick shout out here to Mallow, who had a really good point. And he says the Graveyards need to slow down a little and be smart with their touches, and I fully agree. I think the Gravelords are playing very quick right now, and I noticed that because they're going for these solo plays. They're trying to be the hero for their team, but in reality, all you need is a good pass out to the midfield, try to find your teammates, and trying to find really a good opportunity to score. But as I say this, we are entering Champions Field here in Game 5. Biscuit, who you got?
I think I need to see the content finish at this point, right? You can't make me cast to 5 and not finish a reverse sweep. I want to see Chimeras take this and pull off a reverse sweep here.
No, I agree. Would this be the third reverse sweep of all time in playoffs?
I don't know the play-in statistics. There's been a few more in play-ins compared to playoffs, which are best of 7s. But it's still a pretty low amount. I mean, I would bet it's less than 10 for sure, probably less than 5.
Yeah, we might have to get a Rockerman fact check on that one, as Case gonna put it up. Shun gets there, he dribbles it down, but Case runs out of boost. Magma needs to back up. Arc is there, but Magma gonna hit it over to the back wall. Arc is up with it. A beautiful pass over to Big Rick, who tries to slot it top right. A huge almost goal there by the Chimeras. As Case gonna pop it over to Shun. What a pass! And unfortunate, he couldn't get it past the last defender, which has been the case for the Gravelords recently. They can't find the opportunities. They can't find the back of the net. So we're going to see if anything changes here. Big Rick going to 50 it out. Arc has an opportunity to make a play. Another 50 going out. Magma beats him on the 50. He has a dribble. Can he find Case? No, he can't. A little bit of an overcommit for the Gravelords, but it's not too big of a deal as Case has it, but he doesn't have a whole lot of boost. Going to give it down to Arc. Arc over to Shun. Shun has some time. Never mind. It's Magma. It's going to take it away. Has a little bit of a dribble. It's going to be Shun to put it top left with the pre-flip.
Little pre-flip, double tap, thank you God type goal right here. I think Shun almost not able to reach this, and yeah, he got blessed by the lords above that are the Rocket League gods, and he puts it in. Sometimes that's the type of goal you need to break the ice, but I will preface at this with they did get Game 4's first goal too, so Chimeras have shown the capability of coming back from this 1-goal deficit. You really need to see one more to feel a little more comfortable for Gravelords.
I agree. I think they need to find their cushion. I don't think they've had a really comfortable lead this entire series. And as we say that, Magma, the man, the myth, the legend, gonna score.
Yeah, Magma, I know he's a fan of couches, and he definitely found the softest cushion right there. Big goal. Still 3 minutes left to go. This Chimeras team could figure it out, but that is a massive goal. This is the first 2-goal lead in a while I've seen for Gravelords.
Yeah, honestly, very good to have that cushion, and a 2-0 lead will definitely get you that. But I will say this, until the day that I drop dead, a 2-goal lead is the worst lead to have in anything. It is not a very comfortable lead still. So I'm looking for them to score a 3rd goal for me to really say, wow, this Gravelords team is taking it away.
I agree with that. I think 2 goals is scary, right? It doesn't take much for you to be back on thin ice, and thin ice as a Michigander is not my favorite place to be. Sean almost or Shun, however you say it, almost finding that 3rd goal as Magma.
Oh my goodness, he almost got that. Big Rick gonna pop it up. Magma giving it out to Arc. Arc gonna find another touch. Arc gonna try to get there. He steals the boost instead. Very good play. J-Rod up with the ball, up with Arc. Arc gives a pass down the middle, but there's nobody there. Big Rick finally gets there, and the opportunity is gone. Shun up with the ball. He gets past one. Arc gonna be up with the ball next. He has some boost. He can't get the 50 out. Magma has some time here, and he gives it over to Case. Case pops it up. Big Rick gives it down to Arc. Can Arc find it? Yes, he can. Can he get the next touch? Oh, Magma gonna steal that one away. I feel like if Magma didn't hit that one, Arc would have slotted it, Biscuit.
I do agree. I think Arc had that one lined up in his sights, but Magma, being the defensive savant he is, really just figuring out how to get there just in time and take it away. As we have Case on the ball. This is not if you are Chimeras, as that should be.
Oh my gosh. As a little bit of panicking on the defensive side, and a little bit of panicking from you, as Shun gonna slot it away, and oh wait, did he flip into that next ball? He hit it into the defender, and then he read the hit out back to him. That is a high level play coming out from Shun, and he's really showing up here in this series. He didn't really show himself in the first couple of games, but now he's really starting to shine bright here on this Gravelords team.
Yeah, I need to go take a cold shower after that one. That was the biggest roller coaster emotions I've had since my last breakup. That was something by Shun. I was not ready for That was one of the best saves, followed by one of the best dunks I've seen in a long time. And you are 100% correct. I think I might have almost broke everyone who's listening with headphones ears out there, and I apologize for that. But that was just something special you won't see every day.
You know, I think that was the perfect analysis right there when the goal was scored. Just a scream, because I didn't really know what happened until I looked at the replay. Kind of, it was brain numbing a little bit as we have a ball that's going to be shot out. Shun can't find the touch. This could be an opportunity for the Chimeras to regain. They have 30 seconds left. Can they get 3 goals in 30 seconds? Can they make history here with a reverse sweep against the Gravelords? They need to score now, and they need to score quickly. J-Rod going to try to find a touch. He does, but not without Big Rick finding another one. 13 seconds left. Shun off the backboard. Going to give Ark an opportunity to hit it down the field. Case is just going to take the ball by himself. And with that being said and done, your Chimeras, or Gravelords, sorry, are going to take this game 5 and take the series.
Yeah, Gravelords coming back to stem off the Game 5 loss. You love to see it. It does feel bad when you're the team that goes up 2-0 and you get reverse swept. I do think they were the stronger team, but Chimeras really putting the fight to them, bringing out a lot. When you're going against two people that have the stats that Magma and Case have, that is a hard ask, because I do think Gravelords are a team that just unfortunately barely misses playoffs, even though I think they should have been a playoff, not play-in team with the talent they have. But Chimeras, not to take any credit away from them, they battled. They battled hard. They came in, they gave everything they had, and they were one game away, a few goals, a crazy dunk away, obviously, from figuring out how to beat this Gravelords team and saving, I'm sure, whoever they play next some headache. But instead, unfortunately, whoever does have to play Gravelords, you got a handful coming at you.
Yeah, honestly, really unfortunate how that one ended up for the Chimeras. They got so close to having that reverse sweep. And honestly, I'm not going to take away any credit from the Gravelords, but they did play a little sloppy in that game in Game 4. But I'm glad they got it together in the Game 5, the game that they needed to win, or else they were going home. And, Biscuit, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little unfamiliar with Rival right now. With the Gravelords winning this, who do they play in the playoffs? Do you have any idea?
To be honest with you as well, friend, I have no clue. Uh, we are bad casters. I did a bunch of research, but that was not one. I think Rockerman chat could answer that for somebody, so maybe he bails us out as the almighty overlord he is.
Gravelords. Okay, so honestly, no matter who they're going up against, they're still going to be a test. I feel like the Gravelords are that team that they have so much talent, and it's not necessarily a mechanical talent, because Case is a very good player, but he's not like incredibly mechanical. You know what I mean? He gets to the ball and he gets in your face and he scores whenever he needs to. Same with Magma. Same with Shun. Honestly, Shun, I think it's the Game 5 Shun is basically like LeBron in the finals. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he definitely put on a show, and if anything, might have honestly stole player of the game from Case. I know you brought it up earlier that Case might have earned it, but that Game 5 performance alone kind of outweighs everything I think I saw from Case the whole time. Just some amazing plays and amazing finishes. Really put the team on his back when needed. And I take back everything I said about the third man doesn't need to carry, because I guess we do. Third man, stand up.
Third man, stand up. And with that series all wrapped up, I just want to say thank you again, Biscuit, for joining me in the booth. It was a pleasure as always.
It was a pleasure to cast with you. Love the energy, man. We'll hopefully get back in it sometime here soon.
All right. And we have 2 more matches still on the docket as my organization's Ignite takes on the Pawns. And it's a little spicy in that matchup, I'm not going to lie. So if you like this matchup, you're going to like the next one. And then we're going to have Nebula versus Blizzards after that. So you, the viewer, don't move a muscle. You stay in that seat. We'll be right back.